Task 12, CIS Return. We have commenced the advanced level now, and this is the first task in advanced level. So let me give you some information about CIS Return. So it's a construction industry scheme and it's mainly used by construction industry. And this is very similar to the VAT return we do monthly or quarterly, but the CIS we need to submit on monthly basis. So how it works, when you hire any subcontractor and you are a contractor, for example, in our case, the DSK Properties Limited is a contractor and they are hiring subcontractors to have their services. So you need to deduct 20% or 30%, which is the pre-decided rates on HMRC's website when you do the registration of that subcontractor. So for example, it's a 30%. So we deduct 30% on each invoice when you pay them. So whenever you pay them, whenever you pay your subcontractor, you need to deduct 30%, and that 30% amount you need to declare on CIS return on monthly basis and submit the CIS return and pay the amount, same as we do for VAT return. So in order to register yourself as a contractor on HMRC, you need to go through the HMRC's process and get the UTR number and account PAY reference and what other essential information. And once you have that information, you can just enable CIS return service on Xero or other software which we use, and then you can just submit CIS return online. So that's how it works. So let me take you to the course book. So this is the advanced level CIS return, and the first task is we are enabling CIS settings on Xero, and director Mr. Robert has informed you that he has already registered the company with HMRC. So that is a different process which goes on HMRC's website. So he has already completed that as a CIS contractor. So there are two types, one is contractor and subcontractor. So in our case, we are registering CIS scheme for this company as a contractor. So in order to do that, we need to tell Xero that you have already registered for CIS, and when you enter the bill of that specific supplier, which is your subcontractor, you need to apply the CIS code. So once you apply the CIS code to that bill as a CIS nominal code, Xero will count that bill on the CIS return and it will be automatically appear on a return when you submit. So you can just submit through Xero or you can just use the another software in order to submission. So to enable the CIS setting, so as I mentioned earlier, I have included all the screenshots and step-by-step guide. So these are the details we are using because we are just using a demo company. This is not a real company. But in your case, if you are using for your client or your own company, make sure you enter the UTR number, office account office reference number, and employees PAY reference number. So these three information, three details are mandatory on Xero, and without this, the CIS return will not be processed. So let's go on Xero. So the step one, you can go via settings as well from here and use and enter the financial settings, or you can go via accounting and say advanced, and under advanced select financial settings. Under financial settings, if you remember, we have included the VAT information in our previous task. So it's the same way, but this time we are telling Xero that the company has now registered for construction industry scheme. So as you can see here, just to give you some extra information, whenever you see this question mark here, that gives you the information, what is this? So the small paragraph will tell you what the feature is. So it's always helpful to click on that and have a go. Again, whenever you see the learn more, it gives you the brief information how the scheme works. So learn more is an additional information added by Xero. So that's just for extra knowledge. So on your construction industry scheme, we are telling zero that the company is now registered as a contractor. So as mentioned in the course book, this is just a contractor and not as a subcontractor. And fill up this information. Make sure you follow the same information which is given on your course book. Otherwise, zero will not accept that because there is a specific format. So make sure you fill up this information. And then once you have done, don't worry about the bags. We are not using the bag system from here. And then say save. And once you click on save, make sure you get this message. The financial settings for is updated. So the CIS is recorded on zero. So now you have already updated zero in line with your CIS. So these are the step-by-step guide and screenshot. Let's enter the first contact or create a new contact as a subcontractor, which will be using for CIS return. So in order to add a new contact, we have already covered this in previous task, but I have also given the reference here for video. Task 3A, how to add a new contact if you want to follow the instructions again. So I'm just going into contacts and adding new contacts. So go to all contacts and I will be adding add contact, which is a new contact for a subcontractor. And the name is AbLab Constructions. So I can just copy and paste from here. And I'm going to use second is verify detail. I don't have any email address or phone number, so I'm not going to enter that. And here, make sure you go to financial details and tick on CIS subcontractor. So click on CIS subcontractor. And on here, you can verify your subcontractor whether he's registered on HMRC's website. So you can click here and verify the details straight on HMRC's website. So if you click here, look up details online at HMRC. The HMRC, as you can see on my screen, on the HMR, it will take you to HMRC's website where you can verify subcontractor. And if you go here, that will give you the guide how to verify. So you can verify subcontractor using HMRC's CIS online service. So let's click on that. And then you can just go step by step, use the construction industry scheme online service and say start now. Make sure you enter your company's username and password and then complete the procedure. So this is how you can verify the subcontractor's details straight from zero to HMRC. So as I said, this is just a demo company. I don't have any real information, so we are not going through this process. So I'm just clicking here and register CIS name, ABLAB construction, CIS rate. So the rate is already given here, it's 30%. So I'm going to select 30%. Organization type, sole trader. So just follow your course book and say here type is sole trader. And we don't have any NI number, but in your case, if you're working in a real company, make sure you enter NI number of your subcontractor, UTR number, and verification number. But we don't have anything right now. I'm straight going into purchase settings and I'm going to apply nominal code 321 for CIS labor expense. So here, if I say 321, if the code is not showing in the list here, make sure you go into chart of accounts and create a new one. And the guide is already included in your course book. The name of the property, it's not here, so I'm not going to enter that. And once we have completed this, I'm going to say save. And as you can see, the message, the AppLab construction has been saved and the CIS labor expense has been set as default. So whenever you enter the bill under this contact, the code will be automatically selected by 0. So we have done that. Now next task, entering subcontractor bill on 0. So we have just entered a new contact. Let's enter the bill, first bill, in order to do our CIS return. So I have given the reference here. So if you want to follow the steps how to enter a bill, just go to task 3C. We have already covered that. And I hope you can now enter a bill by yourself. So go to business, bills to pay, and new bill. And our contact is AppLab Constructions again, because that's the only subcontractor we have. The date is 15 July 20. Sorry, this is going to be 15 July 2019 and not 20. Sorry, it's my error. So it's 2019 and the reference is going to be 19 here. And I'm going to go July 2019. Don't worry about the due date. Reference you can copy and paste from here. If you have the original invoice from your subcontractor, make sure you attach that so that stays with the transaction, and that's really helpful. Description, I'm going to write services. Quantity is 1. Unit price is given here on your course book, 4,500. And as you can see, I didn't enter 321 as account code. It automatically appeared because when we created the contact, we informed 0 to set 321 as a default code. So it's automatically there. There is no VAT, so VAT is 0 rated. So just say 0 rated expense. Name of the property is 16 to 20 industrial estate. So apply the name of the property as a tracking category. And as you can see here, and this is the thing I wanted to show you, as you can see, the CIS deduction 30% is already deducted. So when you pay to your supplier, you are paying 3150 and not 4500. And this 1350 you need to pay to HMRC with your CIS return. So that's how the CIS deduction works. So when you create the contact, it's highly recommended that you select the CIS deduction rate. So it automatically identifies with 0 and you don't have to do the separate exercise. So as you can see, so the bill has properly entered and the CIS deducted. And now I'm going to approve it. Now let's enter the second one and just say add another bill on the same page, and it's the same subcontractor again, AppLab construction, and the date is 25th July 2019. Don't worry about the due date. Reference, I'm going to copy and paste. Description, services, quantity is 1, unit price is 3,500, and 3 to 1, there is no VAT, so 0 rated. And the name of the property is again same 1620 industrial estate, and you can see the CIS is deducted again and say approve. And we have just approved 2 subcontractor bills of AppLab Constructions, and that's done. Now our next task is pay to supplier. So we haven't paid from the bank account. The bills will not be processed on your CIS return unless you pay them from your bank account. So you need to pay your supplier first and then it will appear on your CIS return. So it works on cash scheme and not on accrual. So the next one is approve and pay from business current account dated 30 July 2019. So let's pay, and you can just say go to your contacts and pick up the contractor and pay straight from the bill. And you can just go to contact. As you can see, 5,600 sitting as an outstanding. So let's pay the first bill, which is 3150, and date we need to select as 30 July 2019. And that's done. Paid from business current account, which is already given, and says say add payment. And now go to the next bill, to the same contact. Again, go to contacts, select your subcontractor. Then now there is only one bill sitting as an outstanding. Date paid again 30 July 2019, paid from current account, and say add payment. And you have already paid now two of your subcontractor bills. Now you can process. The next task is process and file CIS return. So you can just process and file the CIS return with HMRC. So let's do that. And in order to do that, go to 0 here in accounting, reports, and under reports, go to the tax section. And as you can see here, this is CIS monthly return. So click on CIS monthly return, and we have done up to July 2019. So make sure you select the date range to July 2019. So let's say it was July 2019 to 31st July 2019, and say update. And as you can see, the bill is already here under CIS, and amount withheld is 2,400, and you can see the bill here. Now you can just file this to HMRC, but as I said, this is not a real company, so we are just exporting the report. So just say export, export as PDF, and then you can have the report here. So this is the one way. Next, again you go to accounting, reports, go to tax section, and you can just say monthly online filing. So this will take you straight to HMRC's website. If you have already filled up all the details and everything. So as you can see, this is the returns, and July to 5th August is overdue, and you can just click here, and as you can see, it's very easy. Submit to HMRC, and you can send the statements to your subcontractor straight from zero. Or you can just download the statement if you want to send the statements externally. Now, in order to send the statements from zero, make sure you enter the email address of your subcontractor. So you can just do edit and enter the email address. If not, and just make sure you enter the UTR and NI number and everything. If you want to see the report by subcontractor, you can go here, and as you can see, both the invoice bills which we have entered as a subcontractor bills are here. So this is the another report. So you can just export the report in Excel, and you can just file monthly return again straight to HMRC from here. This is quite straightforward and useful feature on Zero, and I hope you have understood the whole process how the CIS return works. Thank you.